Hi, my name's Steve Howes. I work for Siemens as a product manager for instrumentation, and today we're going to look at Simatic PDM, Process Device Manager, a configuration tool for instruments, and the entry-level license which is called the Single TAG. The Single TAG license is the entry-level license which is really designed to replace a handheld HART communicator. So the entry level price for single tag is less than £100, and if you look at handheld HART communicator, we're looking at in excess of £4,000. So we're not going to look at all of these licenses. We're going to look at the single tag license. The important thing about the single tag license, it can't be upgraded to add additional functionality, like things like the calibration log and HART multiplexing. So it sits by itself in the grander scheme of things, but it's still a very useful tool. So over the next few minutes, we're going to have a look at the functionality you get from this license. So the single tag license is the lowest cost license available, and it will sit on a relatively low spec Windows PC. I've had these running on 2GB RAM quite nicely. So what we're talking about is single point. We're talking about talking to one instrument at one moment in time. So if I want to talk to another instrument, I need to create another project. So we'll have a look at this here. So we can see that I'm communicating on HART, Profibus and Profinet, but I'm only talking to one instrument on that network. If I want to communicate to another instrument, let's have a look what we have to do. So on the HART, remove my pressure transmitter, close my project, start a new project and connect to another device on the HART network, and then on my DP network and on my Profinet network I can communicate to another device, but I'm on a completely separate project to what I had before. Things you have to be careful of with the single tag license is the routing down to some of the instruments. So let's have a look at this HART device here. Okay, if I wanted to communicate to that HART device with a single tag license, I would struggle because up here we have a header module, an ET200M, and that potentially could take up a tag. So now I need two tags to talk to that instrument. So it won't let me do that. Of course, I can connect directly to the black wire here and still use my single tag at that point, but I can't use it on my Profibus network. So yes, you can use the single tag on networks with multiple projects, but really you should be thinking about going up to the next license, which is basic. What I haven't got here is the Modbus example. So we can do Modbus with a single tag license. Where would we use that on a Siemens device? Well, the level controllers, the hydrangers, use Modbus 232 and 485 single points. We also have Modbus over infrared on our Mag 8000 and energy flow meters, the FUE 380s. So I have a project already created with a Siemens Citrans LU240 ultrasonic level device connected. I can see that the diagnostics is updated. So this is my project, and if I wanted to add more instruments, let's have a look what information I get. So we're going to try and insert a new object here. Okay, and I can see license information, one of a maximum of one. So this license, it's single tag. So as I said, if I wanted to communicate to another device, I would have to create another project and connect to that and save as and have multiple projects. So that's the first thing. Single tag means one instrument at a time in your project. So let's have a look at the object properties and let's see what we have. So this is pretty similar to what you get with other licenses, with the exception there's a tab missing here called Documentation Manager. So I can't add manuals, calibration certificates or anything that might be useful. So that's missing. I still have all the nice features of PDM with the in-depth diagnostic messages from this probe I'll use. So it's sat on my carpet at the moment, so it's struggling to get a signal. I can see the communication is good, and then I can see all these alarms and the text message. Once I open PDM to look at the parameters in more detail, I still get all of the nice features. So I have my quick start wizard. I can run through that. I can see failure, so I can run through the quick start wizard. That isn't governed by what license I have on my PC, so that functionality is the same regardless of what license I've got. But when I look on the things like my device, this is where I start to see where my license restrictions come in. So if I have a look at value comparison, you can see that that is not supported by the single tag. And then my changelog, again, not supported. And then we have calibration log, not supported. What I can do is print. That functionality is supported by single tag, and I can still do a file export and import. So I've got quite a lot of functionality still embedded in a single tag, but the stuff that's really useful when I have an embedded project obviously isn't there, because I don't require it at this level. But what I want you to be aware of is the actual functionality of the EDD file, which is associated to the instrument, is not affected by the type of license that you have on your PC. So the last thing, if we go back to the presentation, so hopefully we're okay with what a single tag license does and how we use it. The one thing that gets a little bit messy is your communication hardware. And if you've been a service engineer, or you are a service engineer, you'll be used to having a bag full of leads to communicate to different protocols. Well, this is no different. Of course, when Bluetooth starts coming out, it's going to be a little bit easier, so we won't need all of these leads. But here we have the USB HART modem. There are other HART modems on the market. What we're saying here with this, we've tested this and we know that it works. Okay. Then for the level controllers, the multi-rangers, 100, 200s, and the HMIs, we have an RJ11 to 232 lead. We can supply an adapter to get that to USB as well. Then we had the infrared dongle, so this is Modbus over infrared. So the MAG 8000 and the FUS and FUE 380 flow meters require that. And then any Profibus DP network, we would require a PC adapter. Now this is good news for us, because in older versions, going back to version 8, we would need something much more expensive. So this is about the same price as the USB modem now, and it comes with the leads and everything to connect to your network. Well, that concludes the look at the single tag license and its functionality. There'll be future blogs on the service license and the extra functionality that gives you. But thank you for tuning in to this blog, and I hope you enjoy the others coming up.